Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
We want to reflect on some of the best players, don't we? So we've got a lot of magnets there. The Saturday Social whiteboard's out. What's the plan, big man?
Yeah, so big.
Looking good in the shirt, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Looking good in the shirt.
So we asked the guys to come up with their 10 best Premier League players this season. Now there is a bit of disagreement within this list. There's 14 magnets, 14 players cropped up in the discussion for just the 10 spaces. You guys are going to have to come together in agreement of the 10 best Premier League players this season. Now, we've got a City and an Arsenal fan on the show. There is quite a lot of City and Arsenal.
A lot of bias, isn't there?
So, Spencer, you're going to have the casting, the decision-making votes.
The voice of reason.
Exactly.
We basically thought you're the most sensible, least biased in this debate.
It's really easy to be sensible when your team's nowhere near the title race. It's really easy.
You never know. Should we start at 10?
Yeah, so let's come to an agreement on who you think.
In order. Reverse order. So one is the best.
We'll start and then we'll see. We might have to do some moves.
So who do you think has been the 10th best player in the Premier League this season?
Well, personally, on my list, I went Isaac. I mean, it's hard to contextualise until you see the full list, right? But I think he's got to be in the conversation to be up in that top 10. Really good year. Just very reliable for Newcastle in a quite injury-ravaged season for Newcastle, really, and they've relied on him for a lot of goals.
Yeah, 20 Premier League goals, 24 in all comps, most goals by a Newcastle player in a Premier League season since Alan Shearer.
Buvey, you didn't have him in your 10?
Just because they fell off a little bit. Obviously, the Champions League campaign was a little bit underwhelming. Nothing that he did. And I think he'll be looking in the summer for a big move. I see him at Arsenal, actually. I think Arsenal could absolutely use someone like
this summer, you see that happening?
I don't know about... I know it'll be a lot of money to get him out of the club, of course, and Newcastle are an interesting project, but I think he's that good. He should be looking for a move early in his career and trying to go to an Arsenal. I think he'd fit Arsenal perfectly.
Stay in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You take him at Arsenal?
No, in a heartbeat.
Would you take him? Yeah,
he was my number 10 as well, and I think he's had a brilliant season.
He could play for...
Yeah. I'd love him at Arsenal. I don't think Newcastle will sell him. I think they'd be crazy to sell him.
Yeah.
But if they did, I think we should be trying to get a player like that. And 20 goals is impressive. You know?
I'm a massive fan of his. I agree. He could Newcastle fans won't want to hear that, though.
No.
OK.
Stick him there for now and then...
Stick him there for now. Coming in at number 9.
Right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put my list together and you guys can argue me, tell me I'm wrong. So in 9th, I had... Where is he? William Saliba. I had in 9th.
Is he 9th?
Well, you tell me why he should be higher.
Where should he be for you,
He's the best defender in the league.
OK, but is he the more than 9th best player in the league?
Yeah.
Where is he for
Just because the player's a defender doesn't mean they can't be high up.
I'm a defender. You're preaching to the choir, but...
Well, maybe there's exceptions.
On that calibre.
I'm all for defenders. I'm all for... He's coming for me. I'm not even against... I'm all for defenders, but where do you think he is, then?
1.
He's the best player in the league.
You think Saliba's the best player in the Premier League?
Listen, the thing is, right, we always just go for attacking players. We always go for attacking players, right? But defences are so important, right? That guy's played every game for Arsenal this season. As a young player, he's been absolutely exceptional, right? Like, every game he's played has been like 8, 9 or more out of 10. He's been super consistent. He's been brilliant. And it doesn't always just have to go to a player who's scored the most goals.
He's not happy with you here, Robbie.
But 1's a big... I could actually say, if you said 5th, I'd say, yeah, it's a fair argument, even 4th. But number 1 ahead of... some of the Man City players that are currently top of the Premier League table.
Number 1.
I think there are better Arsenal defenders in this list. You have to say, in the Champions League, the highest standard competition, you did concede
talking about the
really
Premier League
goals. No, but it's the highest standard. It's the highest standard. Bayern Munich is a real side.
You do this every time.
OK, let's talk about Fulham and West Ham.
You do this every time.
Goals. You didn't win those games.
This for the Premier League. He's not
the best player in the league, is he?
It's for the Premier League, right?
I'm saying to you, in the league.
Right, defensive. Why do we not put respect on defences? We've got the best defence in the league, and he's been the main man.
You know what they say? Right? Attack wins your games, defence gets you second.
What?
Let's put him here for now. We'll put him here for now.
Average it out.
Exactly.
We'll rework it. We'll rework it.
Do you know, we will give you full range of your word.
Absolutely.
So next for me, sorry, Robbie, but I had Saka next. It's still in the top 10, mate. Let's just look at the positives here. Where have you got him? You must have him in your list.
I didn't actually have Saka.
Oh,
wow!
You
didn't have Saka in your top 10?
I thought he was going to flip out there.
Did you have him?
Yeah, I put him 9th for me.
OK.
I didn't actually have Saka
wow, that's a massive
in my top 10, just because, you know, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible in doing it. I think he's had a great season, but I think he was better last season.
Okay.
But he's had a great season.
Isn't he hit his best numbers in terms of goals and
assists? He has, but I still feel he was a bit better, even though the numbers are better this season. If you speak to most Arsenal fans, they say he was actually better last season. But he's still been exceptional. But I just like to take 10.
Yeah.
I just found that, like, being honest, in my honest opinion, there were some players I thought...
Well, we'll put him here for now, and then we might take him out later, but that's all right for me.
You always move it around.
Well, I had this man next, Dominic Solanke. I think if you're looking at the team he's played in, the amount of goals he's scored...
Yeah, decent shout.
Also, like, the journey of him as a career. Like, you know, he was getting a lot of stick at first when he went there, and not necessarily anywhere near as prolific as he now is. So I think he deserves a bit of...
Yeah, I had him in at 9. I think he's had a brilliant season, you know. Like you said, at Bournemouth, he's literally been the leader of that team. And the goals he scored has been, you know, he's been exceptional, really has. If he was at any other team, if that was any other team he was at, he'd be getting shouts for...
So you think he's had a better season than Isaac?
Yes, just because I think Isaac's playing in a better team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I give Solanke the it's only slight, but I give him the slight up just because he's playing for, you know, no disrespect, but he's at Bournemouth, which is not as got
If it wasn't
stars.
for Watkins, he'd be going to the Euros.
Sorry?
If it wasn't for Ollie Watkins, he'd be on the plane to the Euros.
Yeah, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah. Right.
Top scorer, 21 goals this season. Joint fourth top Premier League.
I don't mind the argument,
I'll put him there for now, we'll work through it. And then
I think it's a good shout as well, because I think whenever we do this, it's very easy to gravitate towards the players from the top 6, so to speak. But there's been some really big
This next one's wound me up, I can't lie.
For me?
I think from everybody's got an agreement, potentially.
Oh, really? OK. Well, yeah, I had Ollie Watkins.
I can't believe he's so low.
It's low.
I had him actually...
7th.
Yeah, we've actually changed my order a little bit. I had him in 6.
I had him in at 6.
Yeah.
You had him in 6.
And he's
So
brilliant.
I can't believe he's that low. What more could he have done? He's got the most assists, I think, of any player in the league. You know, he's in contention for me to be 1, let alone in the top 5. Seriously, what more could he have done this season, Boost? What more could he have done? He's got his team.
It's very harsh saying this, but he's not
into
the highest scorer in the league.
He's 96.
Yeah, and it's incredible. He's a top 5 debate a 1,000,000%. But when you say 1, we're talking about players that have won you the Premier League title. You have to talk about.
But winning the Premier League title for Villa is getting into the Champions League. They are not realistically going to win a Premier League title.
Course,
so that level for them is to get into the Champions League.
Yeah, but that's all context, you know.
I think there's an element of it. And this is where it's subjective, but is that you're asking who's the best player as well? It's like who's the best at football? Who's the best? And there's names in there that are... I love Ollie Watkins. I think he's done everything he can do, like you say. I still think when you watch him for England, it's quite evident that he's not top tier.
He's not a world-class striker.
We're doing it on this.
Yeah, but
but
it's not just numbers, is it? It's also about how they play the game and the way that... I think there's players later in my list that are better footballers than Ollie Watkins.
Yeah,
but he is an unreal season. You can put him right... We can put him here for now, but we may move him up.
Surely in the top 5.
We may move him up.
My
27
Let's put him here for now. Put him there for now.
27 goals and 13 assists this season. Most assists in the Premier League this season. Second most goals and assists in the Premier League. I'm with Joe. I think 7th is...
Well, we're going to start saying...
OK, you've gone 5.
None of the players we're going to say now are bad, right?
OK.
We're going to have some real arguments, because next I had Rodri next.
That's low, mate.
Now, yeah, but where do you want him then? Number 1?
He's at least 2. At least 2. He's the best DM in the world. He's the best DM of a generation. If it wasn't for someone else that we'll talk about from City in terms of what he's done, moving the side forward, scoring big goals, there's no one in the world that can do what Rodri does from the base of midfield. Control a game, win the ball back at a high level. And it's a bit like what Robbie's saying about we underestimate defenders.
Yeah.
Defensive midfielders, they do everything in the game to the highest level.
I agree. And there's a couple of players in this list that you could probably argue are the best in their position in the world, or certainly in that conversation. But only one can be number 1. So we have to have some sort of...
He's
also above Saliba.
Of everyone in this list, he's probably one of them that you notice the most when he doesn't play. He's unbeaten in the last 73 appearances when he does play. And Man City's last 5 defeats have all come when he doesn't play. They're a completely different team.
Yeah, agree.
He's not the same. Where would you have him out of interest, Robbie?
I think Buvey's made a good case to put him here for now.
Are you happy with 3, Robbie?
No.
I
think that's too high, you know.
Oh, my...
For Rodri? Listen, for this season, because I think at the start of the season, he didn't start off great.
He was banned, though, isn't
he got sent off.
Yeah. Still didn't lose a game.
You know, let the team down a bit.
Game when he's played.
Yeah.
He's got the most successful passes in the Premier League of any player, most touches of all players in the Premier League this season, career best 16 Premier League goal involvements, hasn't lost a game, and all the games they have lost are when he hasn't played.
Let's fill the list out.
All right. Listen,
he's right up there.
I'm hating a bit because he is.
We can always make movements.
This will be an interesting one for me. So I had him in 4 for my list, Erling Haaland.
Yeah, that's...
Right. Now, obviously, not... Yeah, there's prettier players, and there's players that maybe, the whole Roy Keane argument, technically can do other things, but you can't get away from the man's numbers. And he's not played every game either. Like, you know...
Yeah, he missed a load of...
He could have scored a ridiculous amount this year, still scored the most, and he's right up there, like...
Yeah. Top scorer in the Premier League.
Exactly.
But do you think he's had a better season than Watkins?
Depends what you mean by that.
I put him below Watkins.
If you swapped them, Watkins maybe scores more.
But the metric is this season.
This season, though, who has had a better...
I don't know. I don't know. You know, it's not about.
I like that. I like that.
More. It's about him scoring less in a Villa team.
On this guy,
If you swapped him, who scores more? Because he will score a lot less in a Villa team.
By the way, I'm a massive critic of him because I think when you criticise someone like Erling Haaland, you're saying he can do better. That's how talented he is. He could do better against Real Madrid. He didn't do enough. He didn't have any shots on target in those 2 games.
Against quite a few of the big.
But it's so easy to say, oh, he could be scoring 40 if Ollie Watkins played for Man City. No way. What he's done in the Champions League, the amount of goals he's got in 2 seasons in the Premier League is out of this world.
Well, I just think it's more that he scores less for Villa. I don't think he scores the amount he scored.
30 for Villa.
What did he do against us?
When he's played against him...
He played against Arsenal.
He's currently above you in the table.
When he played against Arsenal...
He's currently above you.
So's Ortega.
Exactly. When he played against Arsenal, who marked him out of the game twice?
Yeah. But he makes up for it.
What's the name of that guy again? The guy you wanted to put in that number 10.
Saliba. He's the highest scorer in the Premier League. We can't disrespect someone.
But when he played it...
top 2?
He's close to 100 goals for City already in 2 seasons.
Listen, exceptional player.
No, I put him below Ollie Watkins. I think 6.
I'm happy with 6.
Exceptional player, although he doesn't do the hold it up very well, does he?
We did it against you.
Quite a lot of people have said that, famous people. But what did he do against Arsenal? He got marked out of the game twice. True. The top scorer, remember what he's just saying? Yeah. Marked out of the game twice by Saliba, didn't score a goal.
He's got to improve. Yeah,
let's see where else we end up, because we've got a lot of names to get through here.
Yeah, Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer has had an unreal season, hasn't he? Brilliant. He's been the shining light for Chelsea, and I don't think anyone... I know there's a lot of talk about how good he could be, but I don't think anyone saw the sheer numbers he's put up coming this early in his career. And a team that has lacked cohesion and has only really just recently started to gel, he's been good since minute 1. I think that deserves serious recognition.
We've got to go to Buvey on this as a City fan. Obviously, you talk about Man City, loads of it is positive. You're going to probably have an amazing season. But do you look at that and think, why did we sell Cole Palmer? Did you see what he was going to do at Chelsea come in?
I did. Not the raw numbers. The numbers are out of this world. In terms of total technical ability, any City fan will tell you, when he was at the EDS and the academy, people saw he had a higher ceiling potentially than Phil Foden. Back in the day, people were saying that. You can't hold on to players for the sake of it. It didn't make sense for him to be a substitute and not play the minutes he's played. As a football fan, I'm glad that he's at Chelsea doing his thing. Obviously, I don't want him to do well against City, but what he's doing in the Premier League and representing himself as an amazing footballer, I'm almost proud of him as a City fan. Like, you have to be.
I think ultimately you've seen City strengthen a lot of their rivals in recent years. You can really call Chelsea a rival right now in terms of league position, but obviously with Arsenal last year, a couple of players, ultimately they've continued to win.
Yes.
And the only thing with Palmer that surprises me is obviously he's a homegrown player, so as you have to have a certain amount in your squad. So that says a lot about the other ones you've got or maybe coming through that they're thinking about. That's the only, I think, potential mistake in that sale.
And the fee, potentially, $42.5 million for someone of his age, homegrown.
At the time, though, that looked like quite a good deal at the time.
Yeah, profit as well.
Money, wasn't it?
Back on that now, though, the numbers.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So where are we having him? Is he top 2? Is he top 2? I had him in 3, personally.
Yeah, I put him in 4.
You can move Rodri if you want.
I'd have him about 3.
Should we put Rodri up 1?
Move Watkins down to 1 and Haaland down to 7.
OK, so we fill out the 10, yeah, fine.
Yeah, add some space in there.
And what, and put Palmer in 5?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that for now.
Palmer in 5, Robbie.
OK.
Work through it. So next, I had this man right near the guy. I had him in 2nd, personally. I think he also started the season a bit slow. It looked at first like the Rice move coming in and the midfield reshuffle had affected him. But then when he got going, he's been as good as he's ever been, and he's right up there, isn't he, with the best creative midfielders
in the best in the league. Creative midfielder in the league this year. And, we all know De Bruyne's brilliant, but I think he's been better than him this season.
He's actually, Robbie, you'll love this stat, he's actually created the most chances from open play of any player in Europe's major leagues this season.
So where would you have him, Rob?
I had him 2. I'm happy to stick him 2 still.
2's high.
Where did you have him?
You think he's had a better season?
I didn't put him in top 10.
You didn't have him?
You didn't have him in your top 10?
I think they're better Arsenal.
Huh?
This is a City thing.
This is what I'm saying about this guy.
I think Arsenal...
You didn't have him in your top 10.
Why have Arsenal been fantastic this season? Because of the defence. I've put in multiple Arsenal
You want to diss our defender, put him down in number 10, and then you don't even want to put the best creative player in the league.
I put Saliba higher than 10. It's just hard to agree with you, lads. I would have put Saliba a lot higher.
It's Saliba 9th.
Yeah,
Nine. That number that's a lot higher than 10.
Someone like Declan Rice, Ben White, for me, have to go in the list ahead of him.
How is
Ben
he
White
not,
ahead of Ødegaard?
How is he not in the top 10?
Yeah, that's mad, Buvey.
You've built your title challenge on your defence.
8, 9 and 10, does this
Well, listen,
need
we're going to
some
finish.
adjustment now?
We'll have a proper chat once we get 10 names on there, because we've got 4 more.
Are we right in thinking you're all agreeing on your number one?
Yeah, I had this, man.
You've all got Phil Foden as the best player in the Premier League.
Yeah, so it is.
No, I had Saliba, but, you know, I mean, obviously Foden's been exceptional and, you know, he's been most people's number one.
Yeah, he'd be my number
because
one.
you always go for attackers, right? But I gave you the reason why I went for Saliba, but of course he's been exceptional.
I think let's stick him in there. And we've got 4 more names.
Wait.
We're going to discuss it all
Declan
out.
Rice, man.
Exactly.
What's going on?
This is where there's going to need to be serious work done, because you've got Declan Rice, you've still got Virgil van Dijk, who a lot of people... I know you've got
Dijk, not in the top
Saliba
10.
on there.
I didn't have any of these in my 10, personally.
Declan Rice has to be in there.
Where's Declan Rice?
I put him in 3, Robbie. He has to be in there. He's been unbelievable.
He has to be in there.
Also, you're not having Virgil van Dijk, who many people would argue is he's been nominated, by the way, as player of the season officially.
Maybe the best centre-back.
And it's absolute disgrace, right? Because Saliba's not even been
You don't
nominated.
think Van Dijk should be in the top 10?
Well, Saliba, who's been better, Saliba or Van Dijk this season?
I think Van Dijk.
Big performance in the cup final.
I'll tell you why, Rob. I'll tell you why. I think
Saliba
has been awesome, had an amazing partnership with Gabriel, and it's definitely the best defensive unit in the league.
I'd agree with
but
that.
Van Dijk's had to play with a changing goalkeeper, an interchanging left-back, a constantly interchanging centre-back, no Trent for
won a cup final on his own, pretty much.
Fabinho left in the summer, so
Where
he's
would
had to
you put
have
him, though?
Endo
You're
in
going to
there
put Van
instead.
Dijk in?
I think Virgil van Dijk is a complete neutral. We have to talk about him.
Someone's got to come out, boys.
I think you have to get rid of Solanke.
Defender in the league.
No, he's not been better than Saliba. He's a great defender.
Gabriel.
It's your argument, Robbie. Saliba's 4 and Van Dijk's not even...
Gabriel, and again, like what Spencer's saying there, Gabriel, even when I was working out, it's only because I can't have 10, but Gabriel's
I
definitely
know, I'm going to work it out.
Declan Rice has to be in
So
there.
who's dropping out? Which 2 or 3 players?
Well, actually, remember,
4 of them.
remember when I...
Ben White, I'm not having in.
Remember, as I said, with the fairness...
Anyone got a problem with that? No Ben White.
I'm just saying, with the...
Harsh, but...
Yeah, I'd take Ben White out, even though he's been brilliant.
I think take Isak and Solanke out. I think Isak is going to end up in a mid-table, roughly, season.
Remember when I was saying right from the
fantastic,
start,
but
the fairness of my list, right, is that I didn't have Saka in my top 10 just because I would have had Declan Rice in there instead of Saka. I think Solanke has to be in there when you put it in context of what he's done.
What about Isak then? Take Isak.
I think these 3 are the only 3 that can come out if you have to have people come out. I'm not having any of the top 7 come out. I don't think you can.
But your point about Solanke is the fact that the team he's playing in, the goals he scored...
And we've recognised Arsenal. We've recognised a lot of Arsenal. We haven't recognised Liverpool.
Surely those 3 players are going in.
I think Virgil was the best case of the 3 just because we haven't recognised Liverpool at all in the
so
list.
where would you stick Virgil then?
And then, realistically, you've got to take out Isaac or Saka for me.
Who'd you take out?
Take Isak out.
Need a decision.
You didn't have Saka in your list.
Take Isak out.
Well, no, I didn't have him in the list.
You can take both of those out, really.
So
You can take them both out if you want. What?
Virgil van Dijk that low?
Well, come on, we've got to work for me here. No, you can't please everyone here, Joe. It's not possible.
Is that confirmation then?
I'm happy to... Are we happy taking Isaac out?
Robbie wants all 10 Arsenal players.
Right, and then here...
No, I don't, because I didn't have... Look, I didn't have Saka in my...
Robbie in there.
Rice has got to be in there, Robbie.
Yeah, I mean,
Rice has to
Where
be
would
in
you
there.
have Rice? Where would you have Rice?
I'd take out Haaland.
Oh, scoring the Premier League.
Is that just the one Buvey?
Just the one bit.
I'll give you Rice, but only for Saka.
Get rid of Solanke for Rice.
Rice to Saka.
Way better than him.
Yeah, I mean, in my original list, I didn't have Saka, and I did have Rice.
There we go. OK.
So we did Rice for Saka?
OK,
But Rice... But hold on, wait.
Now you can change it around.
There's no way Rice should be that low.
We've also got Gabriel, though.
Gabriel should be in there, I think, instead of Van Dijk.
He's Gary Cahill, let's be honest.
Shut up.
We've got 3 Arsenal boys in there.
Been better than any defender
I'm parking that.
in your club.
What about Ruben Diaz?
Huh?
Right, there we go.
Right,
Better than
for
Diaz.
reason, that's our 10, but we can shuffle.
Yeah, we can
Right.
shuffle then. We can start shuffling.
Well, there is...
Make a case.
They're shuffling. They're shuffling.
You want to shuffle?
Anyone want to shuffle? Any suggestions?
Yeah, Rice needs to be in the top 5, easily.
Yeah.
Rice has to be
Push
in
all
that
these
top
lads
5.
down and then put Rice and Van Dijk in that 4th and 5th, I think.
What, and take Saliba and Palmer to 6 and 7?
And push that side down.
Move Solanke down
That's a lot of movement.
to 10.
That's
We
a
can
lot
put
of,
Solanke to 10. I'm fine with that.
It's a lot of movement.
Solanke's in there. Well done, mate. You made it. Dominic, well done.
he's got to be in.
Haaland goes in at 9.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Haaland in at 9. City fan says yes, so OK.
Scoring the Premier League at 9.
Watkins at 8.
He did miss a big chunk there. Although he's been
Watkins over
exceptional.
I will
Palmer.
walk out of this studio with Watkins at 8.
But Watkins down, yeah.
Higher than Palmer. Lower than Palmer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I'll walk out this studio of Ollie Watkins at 8.
I don't think these two need to go any higher than this.
No, I think Watkins has to be higher than Palmer.
Not for me.
They got the top 4, man. Villa got into the top 4.
I would put this to you, gentlemen.
No,
I would put this to you.
Declan Rice.
I agree with Spencer.
Declan Rice has to be higher than that. He must.
You got 2 in the top 5. 2 in the top 4.
2 versus 1.
Must be in the top 5.
Lads.
Watkins at 8.
Rice.
So you've currently got the top.
It's Don Robbie 11. It's just on the record. OK, we've got Eddie Nketiah coming up.
This was me. I would be doing this. I would be putting.
What are we seeing here?
This guy's a hater.
I don't think I'd have Rice in, but I'd have him there. This is what I would do, guys.
Okay.
I would do that as a reason.
You wouldn't have Rice in?
He's in. Oh, no, wouldn't he? He wasn't in my 10.
I'll tell you what, let us know what you think at home. They're not going to agree on this.
West Ham fans,
agreed, top 10 best players in the Premier League right now. You decide at home, because they're not agreeing. Spence, I think you did an all right job at trying to organise that.
But hold on, he's saying he didn't have Declan Rice in your top 10.
Wait till later today.
Just because
Robbie.
He's hating because he left West Ham.
I've been on this show many times waxing lyrical about Rice post West Ham as well.
Let us know what you think.
What do you remember what your manager said, right? He fell apart when he left.